Pikkon, and he responds by saying, well, it's a long story. Don't give me that crap, said Broly. Why are you here? Pikkon responds by saying, simply put, I am here to persuade you. What? Said Broly. Pikkon continues, we're sorry to bring you back from the dead like this, but you've got to help us revive Son Goku. Son Goku? You mean Kakarot? Kakarot is no longer in this world? That's right, said Pikkon. And then Broly begins a thunderous laugh. He says, so Kakarot is dead, is he? That means I just have to kill Vegeta, and I'll be the #1 Saiyan. Pikkon responds and says, no, the thing is, something terrible has happened, so you've got to cooperate with us. We need you to revive Son Goku, revive Kakarot. Did you really think I'll help you do that? Said Broly. Well, we didn't think that you'd be easy to convince, said Pikkon. I don't understand how I've been brought back, but I'm doing things my way, responded Broly. First, I'll kill all these annoying Earthlings. Pikkon then responds and says, oh, kill as much as you want after you defeat me. Confident, aren't you? Said Broly, who instantly transforms and charges at Pikkon. Pikkon very quickly moves out of Broly's way and says, let's change location, simultaneously dodging a kick from Broly while grabbing his leg and tossing him for what seems to be miles. Broly is unbelievably upset, and when they land, Pikkon asks, why so frustrated? Is it hatred for Goku or jealousy of Vegeta? Shut up, respond Broly. Why do you hate your fellow Saiyan? Said Pikkon. Broly powers up and sends a flurry of attack. Pikkon casually dodges while saying, try asking yourself, what's the source of your frustration? Shut up, said Broly. You know, don't you? Said Pikkon as he knocked Broly to the ground. Again, Broly yells, shut up, as he attacks Pikkon directly to the face. Open up, Broly, said Pikkon as he caught the attack. On the next panel, Broly has fought Pikkon to exhaustion. Laying on his back while Pikkon sits casually a few feet away from him. Where is Kakarot right now? He asks. Training in the heavenly realm, respond Pikkon. Is he stronger than you? Yeah, vastly stronger, respond Pikkon again. I see. I'm only interested in fighting, said Broly. I'll surpass Kakarot and Vegeta, and then I'll kill them with my own hand. If that's so, said Pikkon, my goal won't change, said Broly. At this point, the story flashes over to Goten and Trunks, who are training in the gravity room. It lets us know that there's about 1 month left until Zykor breaks free of the Z-Sword. Goten and Trunks are training their hardest. Next to them, so is Vegeta, who is in a deep meditation. Even Pan and Brock are giving it their all. For the first time, the story flashes to Krillin, aged quite a bit. Krillin decides that he's going to train as well, for the sake of protecting his family. He begins sparring with his wife, Android 18. Even Broly seems to have put his rage aside and is training to accomplish his goal of becoming stronger than Goku and Vegeta under the supervision of Pikkon. Over in the Ryushin realm, Goku is training with Omega Shenron. As onlookers, the other dragons are having a discussion. Kurunga says the day of resurrection is definitely at hand. All the conditions have been met. Now we only have to wait. But there's one thing I can say for sure. If you all lose to Zykor, the living world, the afterlife, hell, heaven, the Kaioshin realm, the dark demon realm, and even the Ryushin realm will be no more. And so, 1 month passes by. We are taken to the location of the Z-Sword, moments before it's expected for Zykor to break free. The sword is being protected by Hercule, who is given orders to some military men. The men just informed him that they have finished evacuating the army. Hercule responds and says, you better evacuate soon too, and tell the media that evil will never prevail as long as Mr. Satan's around. Not too far off, Trunks and Vegeta are standing, looking at the sword. It's finally time, said Vegeta, as a long crack appears in the sword. Behind him, Krillin arrives. Hey, haven't seen you two in a while, said Krillin. Why'd you bother showing up? Responded Vegeta. Well, I figured I'll come in handy in a pinch. There's always the Destructo disc, I guess. Forget it, said Vegeta. I'll be fine on my own. Krillin tells Trunks, hey, Vegeta's really roaring to go, isn't he? Trunks responds, yes. He trained quite a bit. Then Krillin notices the length of Trunks' hair and says, in just 1 month? Say, when did your hair grow so long? Trunks responds and says, Grandpa built a training room regulates the flow of time. Like the room of spirit and time, asked Krillin. That's right, said Trunks. I went in for a year, but father trained for 5 years. Just then, the sword snapped. Enough talk, said Vegeta. Here he comes. Get out here, Zycor, yelled Vegeta. The hilt of the sword spiraled over their heads, and the three Z warriors stood in amazement, shocked. What a storm of ki, said Krillin. Some distance away, Oob senses it and says, so he's finally revived. With a furious look on his face, Zycor crushes the remaining half of the Z sword. He stands and says, you'll all pay for this, you miserable insects. And that is where this chapter ends. I hope after this series you can see why Zycor has become such a huge fan favorite. Unfortunately, after this chapter, its creator, Toyable, also known as Toyotaro, started becoming involved with official Dragon Ball work. And so he couldn't finish this series in the way most of his fans wanted him to. But he did come back and try to wrap things up. And that story is what I will share with you right now. We are taken far into the future, about 100 years. Master Roshi is still alive, and he is recounting the events of this battle with Zycor, Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. The two are there under the supervision of Pan, who is an old lady at this point, over 100 years old. Master Roshi then tells them, symbolically,
no way.
The sun is setting, and we better leave the story here for today. Goku Jr. and Vegeta Jr. are appalled. Wait a minute, they said. I want to know the rest. Grandpa hasn't even appeared yet. Grandpa being Goku. Their reaction here is obviously meant to symbolize how we feel about the Zycor story. Master Roshi responds and says, sorry, telling that story really wore me out. Go easy on me. I'm old. The kids decide to give Master Roshi a break, and as they're getting ready to head home, we get hit with a little bit of comedy. A couple of new villains show up. BBD, son of Babidi, and Majin Buu. They're apparently going to tear the planet apart. Kid Goku and Vegeta are able to easily take care of them. And seeing this puts a smile on Pan's and Master Roshi's face. Seeing how capable this new generation is made Master Roshi realize that finally, maybe his job was done. And with that, the old hermit, who at this point is well over 400 years old, closes his eyes and allows himself to collapse. Master Roshi dies. But it isn't a completely sad story. Remember at the beginning of the video, I asked you if you think Broly gets to keep his body. And I also mentioned that some villains like Frieza were allowed to keep their bodies to suffer eternal punishment. It seems as if Master Roshi was allowed to keep his body, but not for punishment. He wakes up and he's surrounded by all the people whose lives he's touched in his centuries of being alive. They're all congratulating him on a job well done and thanking him for all his hard work and tutelage. People like Tien, Yamcha, Chaozu, Chi-Chi, Grandpa Gohan, and of course a young Krillin and the man himself, Goku, all thanking Master Roshi. At the very end of the chapter, we get a message from Toyotaro himself. He apologizes for not being able to finish the series and said he threw this chapter together out of desperation. He also says that he'll continue to work diligently, implying that this whole story is very close to him, and it's something that he himself wants to see done. So if you made it...
Everyone is absolutely happy to see Goku there once more, but then, as soon as Goku is done greeting with everyone, he know for an absolute fact, even with Broly there, Majin was simply out there to buy time for everyone else to put their energies into the Dragon Balls for Goku to be resurrected, which of course also includes Broly. So as everyone is pouring their energies into the Dragon Balls, we notice how all 7 Super Saiyans are channeling their energies into the spheres, until of course we notice how something at some capacity ends up going wrong. With the Elder Kai having to talk to everybody, it looks like bringing Goku back isn't going to be as easy as everyone anticipated, because as soon as the Elder Kai begins to talk to them, it looks like back within the Ryushin realm, Goku's talking to Omega about something happening on Earth. And Omega looks like he's well aware, as he's beginning to power up with, of course, Goku having to follow him, with Omega having to ask for Goku to go on ahead and follow him in this journey. So during this journey of Goku having to come back, it looks like Omega's Shenron is the one that's going to guide him in bringing him back to Earth. Which, of course, we notice how later on Shenron actually arrives on Earth. Only then is when the wish is made. And even as the Z Warriors, the Kaioshin, everyone anticipates for the return of Goku, as we notice the dragon actually pop out of the Dragon Balls, everyone does in fact wish for Goku's revival, in which by the end of all of this... How Goku touches back down on Earth. His ki is different, his power has increased so much so that everyone is so happy that Goku has finally returned, and by no means was this an easy task for them to accomplish, especially getting Broly to side with them during this time of crisis. But as soon as Goku touches back down on Earth, he greets everyone by having to tell them, hey, it's been a long time, as of course acknowledging Broly. So that in and of itself, I think, is a really cool thing, considering the fact that Broly, the minute he saw Goku, had immediate PTSD, but he took it upon himself to be very, very calm during the situation and not saying anything at all. Which, of course, the manga chapter comes to a close with Goku having to say, I'm wondering if I should continue on further with the story by making more rough storyboards.
I can't get it! Ah! That is so unfair! I'm creeping that, dude!